Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Who podcast. This week, it's me, Will, back again. He's actually let me on for a second time in a row.
Yeah, twice in a row.
Rare occurrence. So cringy, man. Why am I just so cringy to everything I say? Oh, anyway, yeah, I'm here with Dan.
Shall I do it?
No, this is it. Say no.
Hello, and welcome back
Hello.
to the Who podcast. It's me and Will. We're
Dan.
talking about Doctor Who again. And Will, finally, some representation for you, Will. People with really long arms, longer than their body.
Oh, shut up.
And you've also got teeth as well. I didn't think of this before. The teeth as well. They're very similar to yours.
Right, yes, I know. I've got messed up teeth, alright? They're little pearly whites and I'm not stick thin like you.
I'm not stick thin.
Alright.
At least I can grow a beard.
Yeah, but I've got a tash now, so...
Episode 2, though, Wild Blue Yonder. Should we talk first about the fact that...
hype.
Yeah, should we talk about sort of like the preamble bit? And
The
sort of
lies.
getting to the episode. I mean, they're not lies, are they?
They are lies.
But it was never fully mentioned what they were officially.
And Peter Capaldi will be in an evil TARDIS.
But
Was a lie.
Not a lie, because it didn't come from
Not
an
a
official
lie.
channel.
It didn't happen.
It was a lie, but not like an official one. It was like
No,
a
it
leak
wasn't an
or something,
official
wasn't it?
lie.
It was like
No.
people on the internet lying, which is what they do all
But
the time anyway.
To be fair, Russell actually did speak. Have you listened to the official podcast?
I've not yet, no.
Not that we should actually be promoting another Doctor Who podcast, seeing as we
Yeah,
are
just
actually
listen to ours.
the only one and the best. Definitely
The one,
not
the
that.
only, and the best. Voyage of the Damned. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We'll be watching that later, don't worry.
Oh, well, yeah, that's very nice. What was I going to say? Yeah, we're the best Doctor Who podcast. Do you know what? I didn't actually realise how many there was. I was just bored and I thought, how long do I have to scroll down Spotify to find our Star Beast review?
It's quite a while. It's quite a while. I think the issue is, with an episode that is so, like, anything can happen because it's all been on closed sets, they could get any guest and we wouldn't have been any wiser for
I
it.
just remember where I was going. I remember I was talking about the official podcast, wasn't I?
You were, yeah.
That's why. Because Russell said, do you think it hindered the episode of it being so secretive?
Mm.
And obviously, on the official podcast, they're like, oh no, Russell, it's amazing. Oh my God, we love the episode no matter what. Like, come on. No, it hindered it. Sorry.
The trouble is, it's not the fault of them, though, is it?
No, it's not. But it also is. Why did it say redacted in the Who
Doctor Who
magazine?
magazine, yeah. The trailers redacted everything.
Is that going to be Isaac Newton, the woman that has one line, and Bernard Cribbins? Oh my!
Probably. Susan Twist is her name, by the way. That was listed as the only lady that was listed as a cast list of Doctor of this episode.
Catherine Tate.
No, it was David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and then a woman called Susan Twist, which everyone went, that must be like a secret name, but it wasn't. The actual woman was called Susan Twist. It meant nothing. But no.
Yeah, why have them redacted? Why have... Obviously, I get... It's Russell said... we kind of didn't show it in the trailer because it's very much... How do you explain it? It's Doctor and Donna on a spaceship being chased by the doppelgangers. Oh, spoilers, by the way, if you've not seen it. So, like, how would you market that without giving it away? But, like, Star Beast. I know we already knew the story, but you still marketed it.
I think a lot of it came from an idea that Russell had where he was like, I want people to see an episode where they don't know anything about it. And that was quite exciting because it really felt like anything could happen. The issue is, because there was the void was filled by other ideas, such as the different regenerations. So that, like, the baseline of what was going to happen was there because we knew they were on the ship. We knew that there'd be some sort of conflict between them because that's, you need the story. And we knew that they'd probably get back by the end. So that in-between bit, anything can happen. So a lot of, the ideas were like, you're going to get Capaldi and you're going to get Matt Smith and they're going to start arguing with the Doctor confronting his past, confronting the Flux and stuff.
But
that was
this episode, you could have very easily made it multi-Doctor and still kept it how it was. Even for just like one scene, like if they go to the Doctor, like, oh, they become him, it's like, oh, but you've had so many faces, which one do we choose?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You could have had the 10th Doctor and the 14th Doctor.
It wouldn't have been tricky to include something like that. Although I think by doing that,
it makes an episode a different thing to what it actually. It's not got that
I think it would cheapen what Russell the idea actually was, and to say, like in the Unleashed, I think it was, he was saying that he needed to stick to the idea because he came very tempted to start going
to have William Hartnell riding on it
in a freezer or something like that.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, you could have done all that, but by doing that, you would have detracted from what was still a good episode of Doctor Who. As we were talking about before, we couldn't watch it, and so we kind of got very hyped in our own heads about what was going to happen, that we were going to see these cool things, and we didn't. And
everyone got, even people who watched it live had. I think if you were told one person, like if you would ask someone, do you think this is going to be the multi-Doctor story? I think they would have said yes, because the secrecy. After we get it now, it's because it was just a closed set, and it's because it's literally a closed set. But when you show that to massive nerds like us and say it's a closed set, not show any clips in the trailer, have 3 names redacted in Doctor Who magazine
and in the trailers,
and if that it actually is for Woman, Isaac Newton, Bernard Cribbins, come on,
I think it would have been, yeah.
But what's the point? Just have David Tennant, Catherine Tate. That's all you need.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely been a lot of sort of baiting towards the idea that there was something like that. And I think even when you look at the episodes, I think that episode 1 is the one that you didn't necessarily need to watch immediately. I think the next, episode 2 and episode 3. I mean, episode 3 because the regeneration aspect. So if you want to see what happens and how they introduce the new Doctor, watch it live. With this episode, because we knew so little, it was a similar thing where it was like, if there is a big surprise,
story,
watch it.
So you kind of had to watch it live as well, yeah.
And I mean, I think it did work for that, but I was sitting there going, I really want to see this hidden item that they've been hiding from us the entire time and stuff like that. And just those things never came into fruition. I think Russell did do a couple of like little puzzle boxes sort of thing to sort of introduce aspects of the episode, and he was talking about how these words, once you work out what these words mean, that it would actually be meaningful.
Renslaw.
Yeah, Renslaw. It was the countdown.
Great. Can you go any further than that?
No. No, I can't. I can't think of the others. But I think that by doing that, I went, it's an anagram. It's like something really clever that I'm not going to get. And when I look at it and like when the episode's released, I'm going to freak out and think how brilliant Rotha C. Davis is. And I went, it's a countdown. It's 1 to 10 or 10 to 1.
Before we get into it, Dan, can we just mention the CGI of the episode?
Yeah, go on then. We're probably going to mention it as we go through, aren't we? But
we are going to mention it.
Yeah.
But it was so up and down. Some bits looked great, like specifically
specific
drone
shots.
Shot. That was the drone shot and the explosion shot, gorgeous. Like the outside, not well, the inside was quite nice as well, but that was more of the lighting. But then we'll get onto it.
I mean, because that episode had so many CGI shots.
The Miss Evangelista faces crawling down the corridor.
Yes, I wasn't a big fan of the massive eye.
No, I think you should have just kept them the same.
Yeah, I think it would have been more effective.
You could have had it more just on their facial expression. They could have the teeth. You didn't need the eye and the big mouth.
Yeah, I mean, they did Donna dirty. Like the face, whatever was going on with her face compared to David's.
Like her mouth. Obviously, I get their nothingness and they're all kind of just milk, but her mouth is in front of her hair. Like it's like her mouth's there blocking her hair.
It was a bit strange. I think the idea is that it's supposed to be like creepy figures coming towards you, But then at the same time, like things are nightmares. But then at the same time, I look at that and I think like Snapchat filter, like somebody playing on the photo booth,
like
and
someone just played with Liquify. Is that
Liquify, yeah.
Photoshopping
Yeah.
so long, but like it's all good saying that they want to be scary, but I felt like the scariest moments was when it was David and Catherine's performance is like being just playing, just snarling, and just them. No, as you say, Snapchat filters. I feel like that bit was questionable, but then some of it was also the drone shot. I mean, I said to James whilst watching it, I was like, "Oof, this is rough." And then the drone shot's like, "Well, I see why the rest is rough. This is gorgeous."
I would defend it more than I think you would. But I think it just
There's
I think a
one
lot
more
of it
shot.
looks great.
There's one more shot.
Go on.
Do you know which one I'm going to talk about?
I'm getting a sense that it may be bending over backwards.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I
the
would
head
agree
through
that
the
shot
legs.
looks weird. But it's supposed to look weird, and I think that
The
for
thing
it
is,
to
you had
be unsettling.
The guy, not actual David Tennant.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
Twitter please get it in its head? David Tennant did not actually do that.
You haven't
Stop
actually
saying
seen
that
people
was really
do that.
David Tennant.
Tennant,
It's
right,
just
okay.
not. Watch Unleashed.
Yeah.
Or was it behind the scenes? Can't remember.
It was Unleashed, yeah.
Fair enough. But you had the practical anyway. I feel like that would have been enough. You didn't need the head through the legs.
I think that having it flip over and sort of chasing Donna would work the same. But if you, by sort of coming it back over, when he like actually like is talking from his crotch, there's something about like the overlapping imagery of how he got there that doesn't quite
There's no
work.
possible way that a human. I get they're not things.
Yeah,
and it's hard,
that's why it looks weird
but-
though. That's I think.
But it's not. But you still need some ish believability. You can't have a floating head because that head was floating.
It looked like they just sort of took the face, stuck it on the crotch, job done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a floating head. It's like we're in Marvel territory. We're not in Marvel territory.
I think that's probably, that's probably the weakest. But really weird, and I think you kind of get away with it enough where I don't
The
care
back bend was
too
enough,
much.
Was enough creepiness for me, and then the fast forward walking. Not sure I felt about that bit, but
I think that there's some of the shots though were absolutely gorgeous. Where, like you say, the drone stuff. I really like the bit when they sort of like get too big and take up the wall. I think I don't think it looks real, but I think it looks cool.
No, it looks cool. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's what, and I think all of that works and makes it quite, and sort of adds to the unsettling atmosphere. But
we'll get to that bit because I've got a question to ask.
We'll
that I
get
haven't
to it.
understood why, but we will get to that
Yes.
bit.
Right. So, shall we go straight to the beginning then and start talking about the
and talk
opening
about
scene, the
Mavity.
cold open, the Mavity scene? Okay. So I think we've
Mavity.
both got some opinions on this, don't we?
So is Mavity going to be a thing now in the Doctor
I
Who?
was
Are they-
wondering the same.
or is it going to be? How are they going to not retcon Mavity because it's not a big thing, but is Mavity going to play into the giggle? Is it going to be a shooty thing, or is it just going to be or was it just a joke?
I think it was just a joke, but what I'm not sure about that sequence is that by doing that sort of joke, you go and say that you have quite disrespect for time travel, and if they tried to do an episode along the lines of Father's Day, the fact that they've gone in and changed Isaac Newton's gravity to Mavity then suggests that if you try to pull off something like more intense and where they want you to care about the consequences of time travel, the Mavity joke comes against it.
It's not a consequence. It's just he just misheard. So it's not like they literally changed. Like Isaac Newton still came up with the theory of Mavity. Mavity is gravity.
Yeah, everything still happened as it would. It's just that there's a letter different.
Yeah, but then listening back, there's no way you could mishear gravity for Mavity. Like, come on, Isaac Newton.
Well, maybe he was trying to remember it.
Oh, maybe the rustling leaves, that kind of.
Hairs in the way, might have misheard it. But I liked the idea of that joke, and then the fact that I was like, it's best not to think about it and think of it as like a serious joke.
Because It is quite a dark
There's a serious
episode.
element.
I think that little bit of humour at the front worked.
Mm.
It was very... Did not expect it one bit. Like, it started and I was like, wait, what? England 1666? We're back with Chibnall with massive text on the screen.
Yeah.
But no, because obviously I just thought spaceship, and then we're in a tree. What?
Yeah. Would you argue that it undercuts last week's cliffhanger, though? By going, the TARDIS is blowing up, we can end up anywhere. We're talking to Isaac Newton now, and we're making a joke about gravity. Oh, and now we're getting into the episode.
No, because obviously the TARDIS blowing up has the effect on the main episode. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, it literally does blow up right as you get in, literally straight after the title sequence.
Yeah, because it proper throws fire out the doors, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I feel like no, and it clearly is still crashing because it like flies off and it's all fiery and nuss. But yeah, I think it was just a joke for the sake of a joke.
I would have liked it to have tied in. I think that I love it when there's connective tissue within a story, so everything feels like it has a purpose. The fact that there was this joke that kind of got referenced a few times but didn't have anything to do with the main plot of the episode.
Well, it's our first cold open.
Made it a bit weird.
It's our first cold open.
It is a bit like The Office and like stuff like that where they do cold opens and the cold open might not actually have anything to do with the story.
No, but I also mean it's the first cold open of like David Tennant of this 3 specials because we had a green screen clip. Like it's not really a
that was still an open.
No,
yeah.
but yes, it was, but also not. Do you know what I mean?
It was tagged on a bit later. Although,
no, but I mean, it's like we had like an actual scene where it's not just
a proper scene. Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that the Isaac Newton scene was filmed last, so I wonder maybe it was a bit of a late edition.
So did they film? Obviously, we've seen Unleashed. Did they film Isaac Newton first, or them in the car park tree first?
Isaac Newton was filmed first,
and then they did catch up in the tree.
And then I mean that is a beautiful shot though, because in my head, we were talking about CGI a few minutes ago.
But yeah, no, it was.
I thought it worked so well though.
Yeah, on rewatch, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. I think obviously because what's the title doing tree?
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's interesting when you can see that there's something slightly wrong with it. But I actually thought that the TARDIS was there, and that they were being like added in post.
Oh, like it was kind of suspended and
something. I thought that because the way it was moving, I was like, is that movement like a loop or something like that, where they've just taken an image of the TARDIS and now they're adding in Donna and the Doctor on green screen.
The TARDIS with green screen, and they've just added
So I mean, that's why I don't really complain about CGI too much. Is that I feel like we get like easily confused where you think something else is actually happening. But so what do you make of the ship though itself, like the set design of the ship? And I want to talk about the big corridor that we have because I think it's like the biggest set we've had in Doctor Who, and I think it looks really good. You know, we're talking about CGI. I think that big corridor looks lovely.
I think for me, seeing it from like obviously, digital media thingy, that's my passion. It's too light. If you want to make it realistic, you needed to darken it a bit.
It's a soundstage.
It's clearly soundstage. It's so obvious the floor is the only real thing.
But even then, I think they did replace some of the floor.
No,
in post.
Saw it. I don't know if you saw it in Unleashed. They changed the colouring of the floor. They darkened the floor, but the floor was obviously still there.
Yeah.
But I think they should have made the entire thing a bit more darker.
I think there's a lack of shadow. Yeah.
Yes.
For an atmospheric episode, the bits when they're in like the sort of tightly packed corridors and stuff like that, that works in the atmosphere wise. And then you come into this big open space that's well lit from above, and you're like,
we'll talk about
this is good.
Corridor scene at the end with a treadmill.
Yes.
I think it was a very good. What surprised me again, I'll keep talking more about Unleashed in the actual show. How they could actually film it and vaguely see what I thought that was amazing. They could literally see. Obviously, that's not a common thing. It's a new thing. Because obviously, I thought, they'll just like comp it in and all that. No, it's like how it is in. What's the film? The new ones, not Marvel. Marvel's probably used it. They mentioned it in Unleashed. It's a new technology that they've managed to get their hands on.
Is it Avatar?
I think it may be.
Because I'm pretty sure I've seen James Cameron with a camera going, it's like filming it in real life now. This is not an animated film. It's basically real. And it's not.
Yeah, no, but it's a new technology, and I'm very surprised to be fair that they managed to get it, but it looks very nice.
Yeah, I don't think it is quite up to the level that the James Cameron thing is, but it's more of a pre-visualization of what the shot can look like. I would like to talk about the 14th Doctor a little bit, because I feel like we are beginning to learn his personality a bit compared to episode 1.
I think I prefer 14 to 10.
Because I was going to argue something different, something similar, in fact.
Because even though I've only 2 episodes, I love that he's obviously.
I've described him as grown up.
Yeah, he's grown up. He's mature. Yeah. He's basically 10 matured, because 10 was still quite childish and cheeky and chappy. And 10's got that, 14's got that, but I just think he's done so. David played 14, or is playing. Do you know? I don't know, but I thought 14 is becoming better than 10 in my opinion.
I think that you look at some of the behaviour that the 10th Doctor did. Like
sticking his fingers in a pickle jar and
but it's like I meant more on the lines of like sort of leading Martha on and like going, you know, but it's like, stop flirting with her, mate. You're flirting with Martha. And so those very toxic behaviours have gone, and I think that the 14th Doctor is a sum of his previous regenerations, and therefore has learnt and has this sentimentality and this love that was previously in the 10th Doctor more perceived as pig-headedness.
What actually happened? Obviously, they get into. I think the entire thing is it's a mystery episode.
Guess what I had next on my list, Will, to talk about?
Mystery.
The word mystery. Yeah, I was going to talk about some of the little puzzle pieces.
Literally, mind reading.
So yeah, I mean, I think the idea of there being an empty ship of just nothing there and these little breadcrumbs of what's happening, you know, not even translating it to English.
Before? Ark in Space.
We've had ghost ships.
Ark in Space.
For sure.
I was watching that recently.
Ark in Space. Yeah, that's the really good example, yeah.
Yeah. That's classic Doctor Who, guys, if you didn't know that.
A lot of the mystery does feel very much like bread and butter. Yeah, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like, we're on this ship, we don't know what's happening on this ship, let's find out. And I think that there's many different elements to it that I quite like, and that as you sort of explore different aspects, you learn about the airlock, and then you learn obviously about these creatures, the captain, why they've why answered that question, then you answer the countdown question and why the ship keeps moving and Jimbo and stuff like that. And I go, this works
banging
to a satisfying conclusion.
There's not
and I go,
one part of the mystery that is still unsolved.
Yeah, they don't try and trick the audience with the mystery, which is what I like.
Apart from, here's a weird one. I don't think we'll ever will know, because I'm fine with that. Where do the things come from?
Don't know, but it is suggested in their line, one of the lines of dialogue, that they get they've had some influence from the other part of the Earth, almost, you know, the world, and their influence, like the negativity that comes from the world, to sort of influence them.
Obviously, because they want war, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's come from humanity, presumably, from the universe.
So I'm thinking, you get to the bridge. Is that what it's called? The flight deck, the bridge. Is that?
Yeah. That is right.
And then you've got.
They separate off, don't they?
They separate. Right. This is where we're talking. Yeah, they separate off. How long will it take you for you to realise that's not the Doctor?
I think.
Was it when it cut back to the other Doctor?
No, it was just before. There was just something that the way he said it, and he gave her a look, and I thought, that's a bit of a strange look. And of course,
Wilf?
Yeah, when he was talking about Wilf, I thought this is a really strange thing for the Doctor to talk about. So I thought it was a bit like, and the way he was playing it was slightly less sort of expressive. So I was kind of going, he's doing something different here. So he's either been taken over or, of course, he's somebody else.
I looked way too much into it. Because the whole time lock, like 3 years ago, I thought it was like timey-wimey. The further you go down, Stephen Moffat-y, the further you go down the corridor, basically well enough in time.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the Doctor coming back after like Donna died or something to...
Right. Oh, I like that idea, yeah. I think that the episode does... It asks you to think, and it asks you to pay attention and to kind of keep the mystery going. And then I think when you actually solve the mystery, you go, okay, that was sort of it. You expect something bigger.
Yeah.
I think. And that's why, I jumped to conclusions of, I bet this is, them later and stuff like that as well, yeah.
Yeah. Although on rewatch, because we've both said we watched it twice.
Yeah.
It's the way he kind of like creeps down to sit, and it's like that's not a normal way of sitting. He like stands and it's just like slides down. It's so noticeable.
Yeah.
But on initial watch, I didn't realise it was another Doctor until it cut back to the Doctor, and I went, "Oh my god, 2 Doctors!"
Yeah. I can't. Yeah.
And then obviously Donna, there's like we know by that point, so she didn't need to play it like she's normal.
Yeah, I really loved the idea that they were talking to who they thought was their other half, and then of course it wasn't, and having them ask questions about their families and sort of establishing Donna's wanting to get home and stuff like that.
Does fake Donna talk to the Doctor about Gallifrey?
Yes, she mentioned Gallifrey. Yeah. She was talking about her home.
And then a little bit of Murray Gold's Gallifrey plays. No, that's in the corridor later. Never mind.
That may be later, yeah. But I did enjoy that little sort of reference to Gallifrey. And then, of course, they bring it up later, which we'll get to.
Yeah, which we will get to. I'm very excited.
I think we should talk about, one of the most iconic bits about this episode, though. And an iconic line, of course.
My arms are too long.
My arms are too long. And I was like, oh, this is creepy. For me, it's on the lines of like, are you my mummy? Like,
My arms are too long. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like if we were a bit younger, we would say that in like the playground and stuff.
You said
Don't
this
you
last...
think?
Oh no, you said it last week about the Sonic.
Yeah, that we'd play around with it. Yeah, but I think it's because it's bound to happen with this sort of nostalgia, though, is that we have a writer that did that sort of stuff initially. Yeah. They're going to try and replicate it, aren't they? Yeah, I think that I was sort of waiting for this really horrible shot where they were going to pan down and it would be there. I think David's arms were much cooler than Donna's, though. Would you not agree?
Yeah, Donna's just got one kind of club arm.
It felt like she had a bit of plastic, and then they gave her the plastic behind her in her arm.
One shot I wasn't a fan of when she showed the arm. And also it's from behind the cooler pipe, so I understand it now. But it's when she kind of lifts it up, and like it looks like Catherine's lifted her arm, and then they've just got a fake hand out a shot doing that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seeing Unleashed, it's practical, so it's like, why would you not just show the shot of the arm?
I would have loved that. I always feel like there's like a slow reveal in which you go down and he just looks down, and then there's just David with these really big arms, and it's like, what?
Yes. Does it do this? Yes, it does with the pattern of David. Because you find out first with Donna, and then it cuts straight back to David.
I would have done it the other way around because the David one is better.
Is David not stood up, or does it pan down and then he stands up?
I think I got it into my head he was sat, but I'm going to check. So how they do it is they do the Donna bit first.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that's the weaker of the two. And then they cut back to our Donna, and then the Doctor gets up, and as he gets up, his hands are still on the ground.
So do you see the Doctor get up, or do you hear it?
You see like bits of it. You don't see the full off the floor, but you see most of it.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Arms,
but very cool. Practical.
I love it. I think it looks great.
Practical.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then the way that he sort of follows them with like his massive arms behind him,
sliding
along the ground. Great great bit of horror. Something that in itself is not quite scary. But then seeing it practically makes it quite terrifying.
For half six on BBC One, it's the furthest it's the best body horror you can get.
Yeah,
it's very good.
And then I think that
this episode was scary.
Yeah,
even James was going, it's quite scary.
I think it's all about the atmosphere. This episode, though, I think by nailing the atmosphere, by nailing you don't know what's going to happen, there becomes this sort of creepy. I think maybe that was sort of the point of the whole let's not say anything, was that by not saying anything, you think, are we actually like are we going to get this nice little adventure and then boom, like horror story, kind of thing that you may not have expected. As I didn't, I didn't expect when we watched the episode on Saturday to sit there and just go, I saw David Tennant with a pair of massive arms today.
Well, you know what they say, David Tennant, so he needs a big pair of hands to deal with that.
I think it was about this time that I noticed some really interesting change, like where it was shot. Because now that we have 4 of them, because there's that little sort of moment when they talk to each other, don't they? And you see the work that must have gone into doing that sort of stuff. They even sort of hide a few cuts that I had no idea about I noticed within Twitter, I think.
Spin cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think the spin cuts are quite obvious because when they do a quick pan like that. But there's a few that I really like. There's a bit when Donna walks through a corridor and the director, Tom Kingsley, labelled it out where he says, this bit is Catherine, and then there's a hidden cut here, and then it becomes a woman called Helen, who looks like Donna, who then runs towards the doctor, and then Donna appears behind them.
She looks nothing like Donna, it's just she's got a wig on and wears the same clothes. You've seen Unleashed. They look
not physically, but you do get away with it. It's surprising you can get away with it.
Yeah. I'd like to see if we can go frame by frame and find where David's not David and Catherine's not Catherine.
Maybe I didn't notice any sort of face. Like I didn't notice any moments.
That's not David.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything like that, and I think that it just works so well because you can do that sort of lovely little split screen thing where it's sort of uncanny valley doesn't quite make sense. That there's 2 of them, but it looks and feels real. And I think that sort of the planning that went into that idea on those closed sets must have taken ages, and it must have taken ages to film. So poor Doctor and Donna had to sit there for hours on end repeating the same lines and running through scenes from 2 perspectives.
It also just shows how good their acting is, because it's obviously not just it's the reactions of something that hasn't happened yet that they're yet to say. Obviously, whilst filming, it's like it's really good to watch. Like obviously, because especially Catherine, she's a comedy actor. She's not had a serious role, but it just shows she can act.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of really lovely bits that we could talk about. Like lots of little moments. I love the bit when the Doctor blocks down the door, and then they turn and face him. I like that shot.
The synchronized turn.
Obviously, the bit with the teeth and they're being chased is lovely as well.
Right. So, what happens now? We've got the long arms.
We have
the knee.
We do have the knee.
Scared me.
Did it properly?
That not scared me, but it was the biggest of all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the two jointed knee.
It was just, and that was practical.
And partly practical.
Well, yeah. you know what I mean. And it's like, wow.
I know, it's
really
impressive. Good. It's really impressive.
And then we get to the corridor scene where a lot of people will probably just discover a kink. Inflation. Because they get big.
Was this the question that you wanted to ask?
No, I didn't. No, I have got a genuine question.
Okay, go on.
So I can answer that question if we're on the corridor scene. What makes them get that big? Because obviously they're crawling, fine, but what makes them lose control and clump together?
I think it's just...
They mentioned something about mass.
Yeah, I think it's that they just sort of lose control of their own proportions, and they're still sort of learning their environment. So
right,
because
there was a line about venom, which I wasn't expecting.
Right,
and the car kind of crashes into a pipe. I don't know if that was like hot air and that had caused them to get bigger.
Yeah, it could have done.
That was the only thing I was a little bit like, how come they got that big?
I think a lot of it is like the space that they were in, and if you can't control your own size, how do they know when to stop? You know,
because they're still learning by that point.
Yeah, and obviously their faces were all sort of messed up, so they didn't have control of what they looked like. And obviously they then got better, whether they could sort of switch out teeth rather than eyeballs and stuff like that. And I think that worked. I think that, like I said before, I love that shot when they, on a technical level of how it looks and the planning that must have gone into that. I mean, I don't think it looked perfect. It's not, but it's not going to be. It's going to be weird. It's going to look strange. The fact that it's sort of unsettling is all you can ask for.
It's just the fact of their faces. If their faces were their performance, wouldn't be some. The faces just pull me out of it.
The actual running is them. The crawling rather. That's them.
Yeah.
And then I think
the faces
in the face.
The hands fake.
I have to say, just about that sequence though, I love the bit when it grabs the cart. I see what you mean. I see what you mean when you say things like that could have been practically David's hand going, and then that would have made it look better because you would have seen the hair on his hand, etc. That grabs the cart.
No, not about that.
But
I literally just mean
plasticky.
Like, it looks Was the hand even? Was there even a big hand like grabbing the car? I don't think there was.
Yeah, a big
because in Unleashed, Donna's hitting something, but it's not a hand.
In the episode, it's a hand. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know in the episode of hands.
I don't know what it is in. I presume it's just a placeholder.
Life. Yeah, it's a placeholder. Yeah. Should
we talk a little bit about the character and this sort of idea that we're pushing back the Doctor and Donna this week, or pushing them to their sort of fundamentals? I'd like to talk about primarily the confronting of the flux, something that the fandom has been very annoyed about for a very long time.
Before, what happens when? Oh, the whole tie thing. That's not a point.
No, that's Donna's bit. I'm talking about the Doctor's side, where Donna says that being the Doctor Donna, I saw your life
pass. Your life.
Post me.
It starts from the thing that got me. And I wasn't actually annoyed that they were mentioning this. I was like, but you're not from Gallifrey, are you? You don't know where you're from. I was like, oh my god, Russell's doing it. Like,
I thought you'd freak out over that. Yeah, I thought you'd be like, whoa.
But I'm just going to say, we had more fucking emotion in one scene than an entire fucking series.
I think that the issue...
You can't say that's not writing. Surely.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
definitely.
Not a little bit on performance.
I think the issue with sort of like that Jodie's element of dealing with the stuff that the 14's done.
Forget about it.
Is to not forget about it, but just to like stow, like to sort of be quiet about it. And the issue is then you have that contrasting idea that then the Doctor's really happy and then really sad. So
you can't be quiet about it when first of all, we didn't even know if the flux actually did wipe out half the universe. So thank you, Russell, for actually clarifying.
And then there's entire planets that have been decimated but are still there. So
yeah, because obviously at the end of Flux, it's like, well, did it happen? Because it's not mentioned in Power of the Doctor. Literally nothing is mentioned.
Eve, Legend of the Sea Devils, they ignore it completely. Yeah. Well, they mention Flux, but they say that they saved the world, don't they?
Yeah.
And I go, well, you haven't, because everything's decimated. I'm always happy when I see a Doctor that feels like he's lived, like that feels like he has issues.
Yes.
I don't want a Doctor that is always going to be happy and always going to be like jolly and stuff like that. I think you need that sort of hard edge.
I'm excited to see where the Timeless Child arc goes.
If he picks it up beyond the point that he's currently doing it, is it just? Do you think he's going to do something with it? Though.
I think possibly in Series 2 it might go a bit more into it.
So Series 15.
It's not going to be, I'm going to find my home planet. It's going to be, why did the Time Lords lie or something. I don't think he's bothered about his own planet. I think it's why me, first of all.
I think by bringing up the Time Lords again, you need to do something with it.
Yeah, I think you can't...
But Gallifrey's been decimated again.
We just want answers.
I think I would like more clarification. I'd like things like where does the Joe Martin Doctor fit in? And I mean, I don't expect him to do that at all.
I forgot about her.
I don't expect them to touch on that. But the fact that we have some weight delivered to the flux is good.
Yeah, I'm glad with, and it's actually done some mental damage because you see nothing of that. Like
you get shots, to be fair. You do get bits and bobs, to be fair, but you don't get anything that feels substantial, and you don't feel like the Doctor is really breaking down over it. You feel like the Doctor is a bit sad.
We're about Jodie here. Yeah.
Because that's most of the script that does that. It doesn't stop because they want to give you these cool adventures like Legend of the Sea Devils, which is probably not how I should describe Legend of the Sea Devils. No,
Legends of the Sea Devils.
But they want to give you these adventures rather than like bogging down.
Not the lowest rated episode, but lowest viewed. Never mind.
Yeah, you see the point though. I'm happy that it was brought up, and I'm happy that we have and like Tennant's performance of him getting like visibly upset by it. And of course, the scene at the end that does much the same.
Oh, that's good. Oh, good.
Good. When are you going to be better in about a million years? I think that's very Doctor.
Oh no, I thought he meant when he was like smashing the wall, kicking the wall.
Oh yeah, that too.
Carries on.
Yeah, I like that, and also I think a lot of it is because the Doctor will only be vulnerable when the Doctor's alone.
But he really wanted to have that person he could talk about it to. And it was just like...
She doesn't remember.
It was not heartbreaking. Because he's like, Donna, I've missed you. And he wants to talk about all he's been through. Because they've been through so much. And then, obviously, he is on his own at the end. Because Donna says... I can't remember, or I don't want to remember. It hurts too much.
Yeah. She says she can't really connect to it because it's like too big.
Like looking into a furnace is the exact line.
How do you feel like the Russell Davies was able to sort of challenge the Doctor? Do you feel like he's broken down in this episode? You've deconstructed the character a bit, or do you think? So. I don't feel like it quite had the effect that he wanted it to in that respect.
No, I think it does. It shows that it's. I think I'm guessing his reasoning behind that scene to show that like it has affected the Doctor, and obviously he has lived all these other adventures. It is just the same face. It's not the same person. It's just the same face. And I think that shows very well. One thing I will say though. They're trying to get a lot of new viewers on.
Yeah.
Was it the best thing to do in your second episode mentioning a big series arc? That especially when they're rebranding and this is new Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, that proper comes into play in season 1.
I think when Ncuti takes over, there will be a proper reset.
Just because you hate it. Sorry, I
hate it. I hate calling it season 1.
The fact it's called
season 1. It's not called. It's season 14 or series 14.
They're filming season 2.
15. I'm not unless
you're now going to be one of those people that refer to modern Doctor Who as series like 34 or something like that.
27.
Because it carries on from previous.
Maybe, but because it's been referred to so many times as series 14 and series 15, it feels weird to go, it's season 1 again. So I don't know if there's much else you'd like to say, but I would like to talk about my issue that I have with the sort of resolution of the episode. I think it was said that they did a full month of previs on the sort of big climax of the episode before they started filming it, and then obviously you've got
calling it climax. I'm so sorry. My immature brain,
immature child. But it's quite a feat, and I did really enjoy it. The bit when they realise and then they run down the corridor beating each other and stuff like that, I thought worked really well. Some of it makes me laugh, and it shouldn't. The bit when the Doctor like grabs Donna and like throws her aside, and she goes so far, and I think I found that really funny, and I shouldn't have done.
No, that is funny.
But what I'd like to talk about is the reason why the Doctor picks up the wrong Donna.
I don't think he knows.
Because when I watched it, first time I watched it, I must have just confused that bit. When I watched it again, the real Donna says why is Mrs. Bean funny? And I thought
because it's the name of a vegetable given to a woman.
Because it's the name of a vegetable. And I went, why has she said that if she's the real one?
Because why is it funny?
It just is. It's talking about but then that's the evil one that says that.
No, but do you think it's because Donna's trying to be?
That's what I mean. Is she trying to bluff?
Real Donna is trying to be like, it's funny because it's the name of a vegetable, whereas fake Donna's gone, it just is, and it's just maybe she's trying, but I'm a bit confused. Like, why is Mrs. Bean funny? Why did they not go because of Mr. Bean? That's why I thought
he did a Mr. Bean face when they mentioned it earlier in the episode. I thought the face he did was Mr. Bean.
The face?
Yeah, when David's talking about Mr. Bean, he does a kind of like face.
That's just a David face.
But I thought it was supposed to resemble Mr. Bean, as in Roman Atkinson.
No, see, this is the funnier. It's funnier because of the name Mr. Bean. It's got nothing to do. For me, I thought that's why it was. I thought it was good because of Mr. Bean.
I thought Mr. Bean.
Not because it's the name of a vegetable given to a woman.
No, but I think that because it is would have been like a good enough ending for it to be like about their relationship to say it's funny because we get each other and we both just think it's funny.
Yeah, because it just is. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than going. Why would she say, unless she's, like you say, maybe she's bluffing, but it's a weird thing to say, would be like...
She's not, I don't think she's I think she's trying to, she's like, I am the real me, but, like, you have to give an answer, because if, the doctor's there going, why is this funny? And you just go, it just is. Like, I feel like, I don't know.
But then, when the doctor gets her into the TARDIS, he says that your hand was like... half an inch too small or something like that, or even smaller than that.
Daniel Johnson, it was that the wrist is 0.06 millimeters too wide.
Too wide, yeah. And I was like, okay, but then why did you get her in the TARDIS? And I thought, is it just
He grabbed her wrist, and he must have realised, that feels a bit weird.
Oh.
And then he checks the scanner.
Oh.
Obviously, if you went for real Donna, it'd be like, that's Donna.
Right, okay. Then I'm still confused by why she said that. Though.
What would you have had Donna say?
I don't know, but I feel like I would have cut that and just had her say, "It just is," and then they would have gone. Because I
don't have the whole Donna's going to die, which I generally thought Donna was going to die.
I was like, are they going to take the wrong Donna for the episode?
I honestly thought Donna was going to die.
Yeah, and I imagined he'd come and get her back later, but I thought that he'd start off with the next episode with an evil Donna, and then obviously she'd try and do something awful, then we'd go and collect her.
Linking back to my previous idea, he picked up the wrong Donna. Donna's dead, so then he goes back in time and relives his little last memories with past Donna, and that's when he went in talking about Wilf. But obviously that didn't happen.
No.
That's just my little...
No.
That's just my... brain.
No, but yeah, I see what you mean. No, but I that was my sort of only sort of proper gripe with the episode, was I was a bit confused by that ending. That was it.
What, you were confused because why did the real Donna say... Because it's the name of a vegetable given to a woman.
Yes.
I just think you're looking into a bit too much, Dan.
Okay, so
because
why
do you
think she
if
said
I
that?
was there being like, obviously you've not seen it, and there's two Dans, right? I've got a gun to a Dan head.
Okay.
And I go, why is Mrs. Bean funny? You're not just going to go, it just is. Like, that's not... You're going to try and find.
But I'm not going to say that it's the name of a vegetable given to a woman.
No. But you're going to try to find a reason why Mrs. Bean, the name Mrs. Bean, is funny. Obviously,
but
the real answer is because of Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
But that's not in the episode.
But the logic of the episode suggests that by her not understanding the humour, that she's the alien.
Can I also interrupt there?
Okay.
Fake Donna was 99.9%
Yes.
complete. So maybe...
But actual Donna is 100% Donna, and she got the answer wrong.
She was trying! There's no answer. There's no answer. It's just... Why is Mrs. Bean funny?
So she said crap, basically.
I think you need to rewatch it and see the pressure and the actual acting on Catherine's face when she's trying to come up with a reason. She's like, because it's the... Now you know which the real Catherine is.
So okay. This is what I mean. When I watched it the second time, I was like, "Why?" But you are Donna, though. But I suppose if she didn't say anything and then she went, then then flustered. Is that your point? Is that yes. what I'm getting?
She's all flustered, trying to come up with an answer.
She didn't know what to say, so she just blurted.
Donna completely calm would have gone, "It's just a funny name." But when she's in literally seconds away from blowing up, may I add, she's going to be like,
okay, I understand.
It just is, because maybe at that point, Alien understands
how
calm Donna more than panicked Donna.
But even then, that wasn't how the Doctor worked it out. He used the wrist. It was slightly. It was always to do with the wrist. I did forget that he grabbed her by the wrist, and therefore that's how he knew it was the size. I missed that bit, I have to admit. So
because he pulls it up on the scanner as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's what I was like. How did he do that so quickly? So
also, I just want to mention, obviously, when he comes back for real Donna, would you not slap him and be like, "You left me"?
No, because which one would you pick? I wouldn't say so. I think that you'd probably be a bit traumatized. But there's that lovely shot when they're sitting on the TARDIS console.
Oh yeah, when they're all traumatized together.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's what he means by breaking the Doctor then. So the Doctor is safe from the ship at the end of the universe. And before we leave,
why was the TARDIS playing music?
That's what I was trying to work out. I was like, how does Wild Blue Yonder have anything to do with Doctor Who? I'm not sure.
Is it because the aliens want war? Is it?
Maybe it's about sort of patriotism, I guess. Yeah, that works.
Possibly.
It's talking about
so the aliens have connected to the TARDIS's Bluetooth speaker,
and he's playing it Spotify.
Playing on Spotify.
They're a big fan of the US Air Force. But I'm sure someone smarter than us can explain what's going on. So, Will, we're coming towards the end now. We're coming towards the final scene, and we have a little appearance from Wilf. And, Will, did you shed a little tear? I know. His face just lit up when he saw the Doctor.
It was the hand to the mouth. I was like,
yeah.
Bernard.
I know. It was so adorable. I'm so glad that if one scene had to be filmed,
it here and gone, performance was so flat. He didn't even react. It was the worst performance. I couldn't. I literally couldn't.
No. Bernard Cribbins was an amazing actor. At that age, 93 years old.
93. And
still gave such a very a charismatic performance. And even on the sort of behind the scenes stuff, he's still cracking jokes. He was not an old man. It was like the same thing as he was, 10, 13 years ago?
I think I just don't actually want to admit the fact
that's gone. Yeah, because it feels like a very long time that we've been going. He may have passed away, but we have footage of him that we haven't seen yet. And I'm so glad that if we're going to get his final scene, though, if that's all he does, I mean, there may be a little bit next week. We don't know.
Because he's with them at the TARDIS.
But then they might cut away like they did this week and do something else, and we may never go back here.
Yeah, but we do know you do go back to Camden because you see it in the trailer. But okay.
Yeah, that is true. And he might have been, so maybe he is going to make an appearance, but in terms of his actual full scene, he won't have much of an importance for the rest of the episode. So he may be in a few shots, and he may have some lines. But they are referring to it as his last scene,
That's his last full scene?
Yeah. Presumably, that sequence is all it was complete with him in.
Oh.
So, and obviously they're not going to say there's a bit more of him next week. They're gonna talk about his first appearance and then his last appearance all at the same time.
Yeah.
Because next week you've got the regeneration and stuff, so Doctor Who Unleashed is not going to dedicate time to that. It has to dedicate their time to that and not to Will.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a beautiful last scene, though. I mean, the fact that Will's sort of arc throughout this entire thing has been that he knew the Doctor and was the Doctor's friend.
It was a happy little jig, even though he sat in his wheelchair. It was a happy little...
But couldn't say anything to Donna and all that, and was able to see Donna with the memories, the Doctor back, and everything like that. I mean, that's extremely sweet that we got that final scene.
I mean, I'd love to see it how it was meant to be, like them land and just go see Will. Because obviously he obviously knows that Donna now knows he's with the Doctor, because obviously he's been told to go to that alleyway, the TARDIS is waiting.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. Or from Sylvia and all that people. But even just, yeah.
I also like that Will's sort of final bit, a little bit. I was a bit like, yeah, Will. I also like that his sort of final thing was that he was protecting them. He was saying, he was keeping them safe, and he came to see the TARDIS. He came to see if the TARDIS was there today.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then, of course, all hell breaks loose at this stage. Obviously, the Toymakers manipulated everything where everyone's going to fight each other and hate each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A bit like Kingsman. I love that sequence. That really gets me excited for it. The music and the sort of the rage,
I just think it's
the
so
fire.
good. Danny Hargreaves back as SFX.
I don't think he stopped, to be honest. Did he?
He did.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I love the shot at the
Danny
end, the final shot.
He left with Russell.
Did he? Right.
Come back with Russell.
Ah, I see. I thought I knew he was back, but I didn't know he left.
No, he left.
So
that's why all special effects
different role.
just look amazing now.
I love the bit at the end with the final sort of shot or two where the plane goes past their heads, and then you see it crash just over in the background. So Will, final predictions then. Obviously, we were talking about how we had many predictions last week, like Matt Smith and stuff like that.
I've messaged you earlier and be like, I was just listening to the end of the podcast on the way to do this one. On the way back from work after whatever. And it was so funny us being like, and then next week we'll be talking about how great Matt Smith was. And I was like, all I want to see in the next round trailer is a shot of a bow tie, and then when they can just release the fact that it's Matt Smith. I feel like such an idiot.
You've really got to be careful what you say. So then next week, do you want to say anything, or how are you? Should we?
Donna's dying.
How do you feel? John is dying. Okay, well you've just thrown that out there, but you got to talk about that. How?
You can't do 2 fake outs and then leave it.
I don't think I can save your life this time.
We've not had that line yet, have we? You're right. 2 fake outs and a death.
I think we need to be. I'd like to see them happy, but I feel like we need something to. It's tricky, actually. Now I think about it more, is that by killing Donna, I think that you throw dirt at all the stuff that this specials were about, and I don't think that going into a new era, you should be so we've just killed one of one of the most famous companions in Doctor Who. She's dead. Oh, but watch Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa on Christmas Day dealing with goblins in this quirky adventure.
And Davina McCall. What is Davina McCall doing in Doctor Who?
She's playing herself.
Yes.
Various things by the look of it.
Davina McCall is playing Davina McCall, is she?
Yeah.
Obviously, we have Ncuti. Do you think his first line is actually going to be, "Can someone tell me what the hell is going on here"?
No, to be honest, I don't know. I have no idea what he's going to say.
Unless... Ooh, clocked it. You know, if this happens, I'm amazing. As I called it, David's regenerating on that helipad.
I've seen that a few times now.
He has the sky behind him. Ncuti comes in. Someone tell me what the hell is going on here. Defeats the baddieman.
Yeah.
Celestial Toymaker, and I think the final shot of that episode is going to be Ncuti with the TARDIS behind him that we saw in the Next Time trailer.
Really? I think Shooty is going to in some way save the day.
I don't think he's regenerating in the TARDIS.
I think that like the Doctor will get there, sort of get it in motion, but obviously suffer he'll get shot up by that big gun or something.
Do you think we'll have a regeneration like mid-episode?
Yeah, I think that he's going to regenerate. Maybe not like mid-episode, but I can see like 40 minutes of David, the regeneration, and then Shooty.
Because it's an extra 10 minutes.
Or would it be better if you had the regeneration just after David? Like, just after David said goodbye? So he says goodbye to everyone, and then he regenerates. Not necessarily at the end, but because I feel like then you've got this really weird scene when you have the 15th Doctor saying goodbye to everyone.
Then we've got the same moment. Like, he had his goodbye.
He has. How do you end it? Really, between the actors.
I think literally it should be bang, or Cannon shoots him. He regenerates. Shooty comes in, defeats the thingy. Like literally, like as you say, 40 minutes in. So you've still got 20 minutes of the episode. I think that would be brilliant. If that happens,
I can see that happening. I don't think we will have a regeneration right at the end.
No, I don't think it's gonna be a 5-minute ender.
I don't think like the first scene will be Shooty. I think we're definitely gonna see Shooty. He's gonna be like held captive or something, isn't he? He's gonna be in it a lot more than just the last shot.
Oh, do you think we're gonna see the true regeneration?
That's been rumored as well. That we're gonna get like he's gonna go back to that mountain and do the regeneration.
No, it's not happening.
Boom,
not happening.
Back to the Doctor.
Not happening. Sorry, don't believe it.
I don't know. I can't see him going back to that mountain, especially when they.
Do you think we're going to see Shooty before the regeneration?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that it's going to be like he should be here and he isn't, and then the Toymaker can be, puppeting and be like, "You shouldn't have this face. It was my causing why you have this face."
Yeah.
And this outfit and. Came back, and now I'm going to do awful things to Donna, and I'm going to do awful things. Finally, going to have the answer to why did this face come back? Yeah, I mean it's been mentioned so many times. Even in Wild Blue Yonder, they do mention it. There's the bit when he goes, "It's weird enough that my face coming back, but not this big." And you go, you keep mentioning that. Like I feel like there has to be a reason behind it. It's not just coincidence. And you can't regenerate your clothes. A lot of people have taken that for statement now that the Doctor can change outfit as well. And I don't think you can. I think that it's changed outfit because of a manipulation. And, if you look at the regeneration scene, it doesn't happen as most regenerations do, where it starts here, where it starts like here. It started here and branches out past his arms. As David comes in, it starts at the chest and comes across, rather than it being like snap back.
Because Shooty's in David's costume.
Yeah, he is. A version of it, and yeah. He's got the tie, but the waistcoat's gone.
He's got the tie and the shirt.
Yeah, I think we will get a little bit of Shooty at the end. That's for sure.
At the end?
As in like the 20-minute mark. I think we'll get about 20 minutes.
10-minute, 20-minute of Shooty dealing with the Toymaker.
I think it'd be so good if the 60th anniversaries end with the idea that the Doctor who is in safe hands, and we have a Doctor that is ready to take on the universe.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
It's gonna be absolutely great.
I'm so excited.
I think I saw something like Russell T Davies said that like you'll get half an hour into the episode and so much would have happened, and I'll go regeneration. You'll get half an hour into the episode, so much would have happened, and there's still half an hour left, and you think it could not get any better. So I think we're gonna see some big things.
We're gonna get a regeneration mid-ish episode, and it's not gonna be a 5-minute ender like it normally is.
No, definitely. I mean, it's such a wasted opportunity if they haven't. But yeah,
just random predict. I was about to say predict Shooty's first line, but we already know it. Never mind.
What the hell is going on here? Anyway, I don't know. I could not predict his first line. What about David's last line? Do you think? That I Want to Go is like too over the top?
Not gonna happen.
Too soap opera.
Like I'm ready to go. You're not ready. You're finally you're enjoying this face again.
I think, and then that also says that he's basically the 10th Doctor. He needs to be something else.
I think it should be like, Donna, I love you, or not like an actual not like a
Isaac Newton kind of fit.
platonic way.
Yeah.
Like
it's going to be a sacrifice,
isn't it? I couldn't be
it?
happier to spend my last moment with Donna. I'm so glad I can see you again.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to have Shooty and Donna?
See, that's what I don't know. I don't know if. I'd like that.
I don't know if I want that.
That's what I mean. I feel like, I think we're going to get a mid-generation, but because I do not see Donna and Shooty.
Shooty mentioned, or David mentioned, working with Shooty.
Not to my knowledge, but they wouldn't, would they? But as far as I know, I've not seen anything.
Multi-doctor.
I think.
Have you seen the theory?
This is as close as we're going to get.
No, have you seen the theory? Have you listened to the Next Time trailer?
Yes.
Everyone's saying that very first Doctor sounds like Matt Smith. It does. To be fair, it's clearly the toy maker, but everyone's saying, literally, pause the podcast
Time
now
Lord and the toy maker. People think that's Matt Smith. No, it's toy maker. It's the toy.
No, but Dan,
don't be ridiculous.
Tell me it doesn't sound a little bit like Matt Smith.
It doesn't at all. It sounds like somebody saying
Doctor.
Doctor.
Does. You're fucking delusional.
While pretending to be the toy maker.
No. It's yes, right. I'm not saying it is Matt Smith. I know it's not Matt Smith, but it sounds like Matt Smith. Doctor Who. Have they got the Next Time trailer on here?
Yes, they should do. It's uploaded.
Oh, I'm on the Instagram. Never mind.
Oh, you got it on TikTok?
You went on TikTok?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Fucking hell. Oh no, it sounds nothing like him actually, does it?
No. Doctor.
No, it sounds nothing like him.
No.
But I don't know if you can read that. No one noticed Matt Smith's voice at the start.
What do the comments say? F off.
It's Toymaker's voice. No, listen clearly. It does sound a bit like Matt Smith, but it's not. Guys, it's obviously Seth MacFarlane. I love TikTok sometimes.
No, listen closely. It does sound a bit like Matt Smith, but it's not. It doesn't sound like him, though. It's just because you want it to.
No, first time I listened to it, it sounded like Matt Smith. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
What happened to his voice where it was like, worldwide premiere?
Worldwide premiere.
And he was like Borat.
Very nice.
Very nice.
High five.
Oh, the
He's
Borat.
meant to be German, but
yeah, not
from Kazakhstan.
No, Kazakhstan. Yeah, I think he's doing an impression though, isn't he, of the Toymaker?
Yeah.
Anyway.
You seen we've had 13 new promo pics released.
No, I've not been on the phone.
Yes.
Should we wrap up the podcast first though? Save my editing. Well, I think it's time to wrap up because it's beginning to get dark in my shot now, and there's look at my background. Look, it's just a face now. It was quite bright when we first started. It's nearly 2 hours later, and look at me. So, Will, that's Wild Blue Yonder.
Sorry.
Do you want to give it a sort of rating? Do you want to give Wild Blue Yonder a rating as we did last time?
Well, I gave Starbeast a 7.5.
Yeah, you did. You did. I gave it a 7, I think.
Oh God, why did I give that a 7.5? Nothing can be a 10 out of 10. This episode was not 10 out of 10. Sorry.
No. I'm gonna go with you.
8.
I'm gonna go with an 8 as well. Yeah, I'd say 8.
8.2.5.
8.6.5. Hang on, what?
8.25. No,
8.6. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say the more I've actually watched it, so the twice I've seen it, the more I have enjoyed it, and the more I've thought, actually, this is a really good episode.
Is it in your top 5 episodes of all time list?
Not yet. It's too early. So, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to sneeze again. Will, it's too late. It's time. Don't sneeze on command.
Who's he going to regenerate to?
I was going to regenerate with my sneeze.
Yeah, but who are you going to regenerate into? A new podcast host.
New podcast host.
David Tennant.
Way. So Will, where can you find the podcast? What platforms is it available?
The podcast is available on Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, SoundCloud, and I think that's all.
Bang on. But, Will, you don't need to remember them because they're all down in the description below.
That's my line.
No, it's not.
But don't worry, guys. You don't need to remember all the places where the podcast is available, like Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, SoundCloud, YouTube. Forgot that one. You can just click the link tree down below. Are they all down on like any podcast? None of them are up. If you're on Spotify, is it in the About section?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
But if you're on Spotify,
Dan guesses so. If you're on Spotify,
it's in the show notes.
How was your Spotify wrapped? Mine was a joke. I bet Dan's top artist was Arctic Monkeys. Am I correct?
Incorrect, actually.
Oh, fair enough.
But we'll be back next time with the giggle. The final episode. Hopefully we can record it fairly quickly. And we can start talking about it. I'm going to be very excited. Very, very excited all week. I really can't wait.
And then literally in 2 weeks after, Christmas.
More or less, yeah. So, thank you very much for watching.
I'm listening.
Yeah. Thanks for watching and listening.
The listeners don't get enough of a shout out.
No, the watchers don't either.
I'll tell you what, watchers, comment something in the comments and we'll give you a shout out because we love you.
People that
not all of you. Some of you are a bit some of you are a bit questionable, but if you're a regular commenter, say hello and we'll give you a shout out.
3 points.
Dan, you need to give.
You get special shout out.
You need to give back to your community.
Will has.
Right. I swear to God.
Well, it looks like I'm after a new co-host. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure that you like, subscribe, follow us on your regular podcast platforms. We also have a new addition to the podcast, which is our email address in which you can send in your correspondence and various things about what you thought about the episodes and us, I suppose. You know, it's like formal bullying. But until next week, we shall see you soon. Goodbye.